Good afternoon, all my beauty people. Today, we're going to be talking about the chemical composition of hair. Now, keep in mind with this video and the last video, actually this whole chapter and the videos that I do about this chapter, so far it's about the internal, what's going on with the hair. So in this case, we're talking about the chemical makeup of hair when it's underneath the skin and it's working its way out until you can visibly see that hair strand, the makeup of the hair. Now we already know where the hair comes from, where it starts its growth. But just keep this in mind that 90% of your hair is a fibrous protein that's called keratin. And not only that, your nails and your skin are also keratin. So if you recall in past videos, I've mentioned where the nails are the hardest form of keratin, your skin is the softest form of keratin, and your hair is a hard form of keratin. But before we get started, I want to thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you so much for your support. God bless you. All right, so what makes up the protein chains that make up the hair strand? So within the protein chains, you have your individual links. You could think of a necklace that you may have, a gold chain or a silver chain, but just know that within the chain, there's individual links that are put together that make the overall chain. So goes the same with your hair. Now these individual links are called amino acids. The amino acids are made up of elements, but these are 5 major elements that make up the hair strand. I call it cones, it could be cons, however you want to pronounce it, but the 5 elements are carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and sulfur. So COHNS. That's what makes up the amino acids. Now, the amino acids are linked together by a bond that's called the peptide bond. But the peptide bond is also known as an N bond. And then what these links together do when they form the chain, the actual chain is called a polypeptide chain. Henceforth, you have a chain of keratin. All right, last but not least, we're going to talk about where hair actually starts before it becomes a protein chain. Now, the first thing is these are living cells that are found in the hair follicle. And these cells begin to push upward. Now, as they're pushing up in the follicle, they are getting filled with keratin. But now, as the cells are maturing, the nucleus of the cell, which remember if you've learned about anatomy and physiology, the nucleus is actually the center of the cell, like the brain of the cell. So once that dies, the actual cell is dead. So by the time that they reach up outside of the follicle, outside of the scalp, they are considered dead. Now this process of these cells maturing is actually called keratinization because they're filled up with keratin, and now these cells have keratinized outside when the oxygen hits it. So therefore you have a solid hair strand. And that's all that I have for you guys for right now. I want to thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you truly learned from this, and we're going to continue on. Remember, in this chapter, we're going to be talking about diseases and disorders of the scalp. We're also going to be talking about alopecia, which, if you recall what I told you in the beginning, this all has to do with your state board written test. Bye, guys.